Hello, beautiful soul. If you're here, it means you're still growing, still open, still searching, and that alone is powerful. Today, I want to invite you on a journey into an ancient philosophy that has quietly shaped some of the strongest minds in history. And now, it's here for you. This is Stoicism. Not cold or distant, but warm, honest, and deeply human. It's a guide for women like you, who have lived through decades of storms and sunshine. For those who have carried others, faced loss, and continued to rise. Stoicism teaches us a truth that is both simple and powerful. You cannot control what happens around you, but you can control how you respond. Let that sink in, because how often have we given our peace away to things we couldn't control? A harsh word, a difficult memory, the weight of expectations. Stoicism doesn't ask you to ignore your feelings. It asks you to face them with clarity and strength. At its heart, Stoicism is about four virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Not perfection, not pretending, just a steady commitment to grow into your best self, even now, especially now. And here's the truth, you've already lived these virtues. You've shown courage when life knocked you down. You've made wise choices for others, often sacrificing your own needs. You've loved, forgiven, waited, endured. That's Stoicism, whether you had the word for it or not. Now it's time to bring it to the surface, to live with more peace, more purpose, more presence. In this series, we'll explore how to rise above fear, find calm in the chaos, and live the rest of your life with strength and joy. This is not about detaching from life. It's about engaging with it fully, without being ruled by it. If you've ever felt overlooked in a world that celebrates youth, Stoicism says, you are not past your prime, you are becoming more powerful, more essential, more radiant. This is just the beginning. Walk with me, and if this speaks to your heart, subscribe to the Peace Brazil channel. Our community is here for you. And for those who want to go deeper, my ebook Stoicism for Modern Life is waiting for you, a gentle companion on your journey. You deserve peace. Let's rediscover it together. We explored a simple Stoic truth. You may not control life's events, but you can choose how you respond. Today, we gently turn to something many of us carry quietly: the past, memories, regrets, old wounds, missed chances. We all have them. Some whisper, others still shout. But here's the truth, you are not your past. You are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to do with your life now. The Stoics taught a powerful idea called apatheia, not indifference, but inner calm, a deep peace that grows when we stop clinging to things we can no longer change, including what's behind us. Epictetus, who rose from slavery to become a great Stoic teacher, once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." You don't have to carry every memory like a burden. Not every wound needs to stay open. Not every mistake defines you. We often punish ourselves again and again for choices we made with younger hearts, in different times. But what if we looked back with compassion instead of judgment? Seneca, another Stoic, said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." How true that is. How often do we replay old pain, rehearsing grief that's long gone? Stoicism invites you to stop suffering twice, once in the moment, and again in the memory. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing peace over punishment. It means making space for the woman you are becoming. You've already learned, survived, grown. Now, it's time to heal, right here, right now, because this moment is where your power lives. You are not your past, you are your presence, your strength, your wisdom. If these words find a place in your heart, remember, you're not alone. At Peace Brazil, we believe healing belongs to every age. Subscribe to the channel, share this message, and explore the ebook Stoicism for Modern Life, written with you in mind. Let's walk forward, together. By now, you've heard one of the central teachings of Stoicism. Focus only on what you can control. It sounds simple, but living it, that's where the real beauty lies. You see, So much of our suffering comes from trying to control what was never ours to hold. The opinions of others, the choices of loved ones, the weather, the past, even the future. How many times have you said to yourself, if only they had listened, if only I had done more, if only I could fix it. We carry guilt, worry, even shame, not because we failed, but because we tried to control the uncontrollable. The Stoics remind us of this powerful truth. There are only two kinds of things, those within our control, and those outside of it. And our peace depends on knowing the difference. What can you control? Your thoughts, your reactions, your values, your choices, what you feed your mind, how you treat yourself, the way you speak to others, and what's not in your control, almost everything else. Once you truly understand this, not just with your mind, but with your heart, life becomes lighter, not easier, perhaps, but more peaceful. Let's take an example. Imagine someone close to you is angry or cold. You try to make peace, but they won't meet you halfway. You might spiral. What did I do wrong? Why won't they change? But the Stoic you says, I did what I could with kindness and clarity. The rest is not mine to carry. That's freedom. The Stoics weren't emotionless. They were wise. They didn't shut down. They let go. They knew that serenity is not about everything being perfect. It's about knowing where your power ends and trusting life with the rest. When something upsets you, ask yourself, is this within my control? If yes, act with love. If not, breathe, release, and move forward with grace. It's a daily practice, a gentle discipline, and like any muscle, your ability to let go grows with time. Remember, you are not weak for feeling overwhelmed. You are strong for learning how to center yourself, again and again, in what truly matters. At Peace Brazil, this is the heart of our work, helping you return to your center, to your essence, to your peace. So, if this message brings you clarity, I invite you to subscribe, share, and dive deeper into Stoicism for modern life. A gentle guide for powerful women like you. You don't have to control everything. You only have to control you. And that is more than enough. By now, you've started to understand Stoicism not as a cold philosophy, but as a soft, strong hand on your shoulder. Today, we go deeper into something you know well, pain. Maybe your pain comes from a loss you never fully spoke of. Maybe it's the ache of watching others grow distant. Maybe it's the weight of time, the quiet of an empty room, or the fear that some dreams have passed. Whatever form it takes, I want you to know this. Your pain does not make you weak. In the Stoic view, pain is not something to fear. It's something to transform. Epictetus, who endured slavery and hardship, once said, difficulties show men what they are, and we can go further. Difficulties reveal what women are made of. And you, Querida, are made of fire and flowers, strength and softness, together. Stoicism doesn't ask you to deny your pain. It invites you to meet it with courage, to ask, what is this here to teach me? How can I use this to grow deeper, wiser, freer? Think of your heart like a clay pot. Every crack you've endured, every disappointment, every tear, it hasn't broken you. It's made you more open to the light. Pain can harden us, yes, but it can also open us, if we choose. The Stoics believed that adversity was not punishment, it was practice. Life isn't testing you, it's training you. And you've been training all your life, haven't you? You've endured, you've adapted, you've risen again and again. That is Stoicism in action. So the next time pain visits, don't ask, why me? Ask instead, how can I grow from this? How can I turn this wound into wisdom? Because everything you've survived has given you something. Even if it was just the strength to love yourself more, to speak softer to others, to say no when it mattered. This is what we mean by turning pain into power. You are not broken, you are becoming. You are not too late, you are just on time, and the parts of your story that hurt the most may one day be the reason someone else heals. That's the beauty of the Stoic woman. She doesn't pretend to be untouched. She lets her scars become stars that light the way for others. At Peace Brazil, we honor your journey. We see the wisdom in your wounds. So, if this message touches something inside you, stay with us. Subscribe, share, and explore Stoicism for modern life, created with your story in mind. Because pain may shape you, but you get to decide what shape it takes. You've seen how Stoicism offers calm in chaos, strength in struggle, and wisdom in pain. Today, we'll explore something quieter, but just as powerful: simplicity. In a world that tells us to want more, buy more, do more, Stoicism whispers, less is enough. Peace lives in simplicity. And who knows this better than you? You've lived through seasons of noise, of responsibilities, of rushing. Now, perhaps for the first time, you feel called to slow down, to breathe, to return to what really matters. The Stoics believe that a good life doesn't come from having many things, but from needing very little. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." And so we ask, do I need this? Does this bring peace or pressure? Does this feed my soul or distract it? You see, simplicity isn't about having an empty life. It's about having a full one, with space for joy, gratitude, presence, and love. It's sitting with your tea in the morning and noticing the way the light touches the floor. It's laughing at a memory instead of scrolling through noise. It's giving your energy only to what nourishes you. The Stoics were not monks in caves. They were people like you, living in busy cities, with families, politics, work, and noise. And still, they chose peace. They chose stillness. They chose none. The Stoic woman knows that time is more precious than gold. She values moments over materials, silence over small talk, meaning over excess. She declutters her mind and her heart. She lets go of obligations that no longer fit. She says yes only when it's aligned with her truth, and says no with kindness and firmness. And in that space, she blossoms. Clarita, you do not need to prove anything to anyone. You do not need to fill every hour, every shelf, every silence. Simplicity is not the absence of things. It's the presence of what matters most. At Peace Brazil, we believe that a slow, simple life can be a powerful one, especially for women like you, who've already given so much. If these words find you, stay with us, subscribe, share, and explore Stoicism for modern life, where simplicity becomes a practice of joy, not sacrifice. Let your life be full, not with noise, but with meaning. Because in the stillness, you'll remember, you already have enough. You already are enough. Let's talk about something many of us were taught to seek, often from a young age: approval. Be polite, be nice, don't make waves, please everyone, fit in, smile. And so we learn to measure our worth through the eyes of others: family, partners, children, society. We learn to shrink, to silence ourselves, to say yes when we mean no. Why? Because we were told it was safer, kinder, more acceptable. But Stoicism offers a different path, a braver one. It tells us this: seek your own approval first, and let that be enough. Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish or strange by others. In other words, don't betray yourself just to be liked. Your peace, your values, your truth, they are more important than being understood or praised. A Stoic woman doesn't chase applause. She lives with alignment. She knows who she is. She respects herself. She speaks clearly, and she walks away when something violates her inner peace. That's not pride. That's power. That's self-respect. Think about it. How much time have we spent worrying about what others might think? How many hours were lost replaying conversations, doubting ourselves, editing our truth? And what do we gain from that? Exhaustion, resentment, disconnection from ourselves? Clarita, it's time to return to your center. Self-respect is quiet. It doesn't shout. It doesn't compete. It simply knows. It's in the boundaries you set. in the way you forgive without allowing repeated harm, in the courage to say, I don't agree, I'm not available for that, I deserve better. The Stoics remind us that external praise is fleeting, but internal peace, that's yours to keep. A Stoic woman doesn't need everyone to like her because she likes herself. She doesn't wait for permission to rest, to speak, to dream, because her life is hers. This is your time to rise, not to prove anything, but to live with truth, clarity, and quiet strength. At Peace Brazil, we believe that self-respect is a revolutionary act, especially for women raised to believe that being good meant being silent. So, if this message speaks to your heart, subscribe, share, and dive deeper into Stoicism for modern life. This is your space to grow, to heal, and to stand tall. Because Querida, you no longer need to chase approval, you only need to remember who you are. Now we'll explore one of the most powerful words in the human language, one that may feel far away, but has always lived quietly inside you: freedom. Many people think freedom means doing whatever you want, traveling, having money, being alone, saying what you feel. But the Stoics teach us a deeper freedom, one that cannot be taken away, the freedom within. Epictetus, who lived part of his life enslaved, once wrote, "No man is free unless he is master of himself," and that changes everything, doesn't it? True freedom isn't living without limits, it's living with awareness. It's no longer being a prisoner of your emotions. It's choosing peace, even when the world is loud. It's not letting fear, the past, or others' opinions dictate your life. How many times have you felt trapped by expectations, by guilt, by what others said you should do? But here is the truth: you are already free. Free to choose your thoughts, free to change your path, free to say no, free to live life on your terms. Stoic freedom is born when you realize no one can take your peace unless you allow it. You can live in a humble home with few possessions and still feel rich inside. You can live alone and never feel lonely. This kind of freedom doesn't need applause. It lives in stillness, in the lightness of being exactly who you are without apology, in the courage to walk your truth, even when others don't understand. A Stoic woman knows she doesn't have to control everything. She only needs to govern what's within her mind, her choices, her heart. That is real freedom, not depending on the outside world to feel peace inside. Querida, you have lived so much. You've proved your strength again and again. Now, it's time to live with softness, to walk without the chains of the past, to trust your own wisdom. At Peace Brazil, we believe in this quiet kind of freedom, especially for women like you, who have spent a lifetime giving, and now deserve to live fully for yourselves. If this message resonates in your heart, stay close. Subscribe, share, and explore Stoicism for modern life, a guide made with love, for women like you, because the freedom you've been looking for has been within you all along. And for here we are, the final chapter in our journey together. Over the past few episodes, we've explored how Stoicism is not a cold philosophy for ancient men, but a warm, living guide for modern women, especially for you. In this sacred season of life, you've learned that you are not your past, you are not your pain, you are not the labels others gave you, or the roles you had to play. You are a woman with stories, with resilience, with wisdom that no book can teach, and Stoicism, at its core, is about coming home to your center. It's the gentle power of knowing what you can control, and surrendering the rest. It's the freedom of not needing applause to feel worthy. It's the peace of living in the present, with eyes open and heart steady. You've heard the words of Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, but more importantly, you've heard the voice within yourself. And that voice is saying, I'm ready. I've given so much to others. Now, I give something back to myself. Stoicism is not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about practicing a little peace each day. Breathing before reacting. Choosing your values over your impulses. Being kind to yourself, especially on the hard days. Because the truth is, You don't have to do everything. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to live each moment with intention. And that is a revolutionary act for a woman who was raised to survive instead of thrive. At Peace Brazil, we believe that it's never too late to heal, never too late to learn, never too late to become the woman you were always meant to be. So as this series ends, a new chapter begins, and you get to write it. One day at a time, one quiet decision at a time, one brave yes to yourself at a time. We invite you to stay with us. Subscribe to the Peace Brazil channel. Share these messages with other women who carry deep stories, quiet pain, and untapped strength. And if you feel ready to go deeper, our ebook Stoicism for Modern Life was created exactly for you. Simple, warm, and practical. Querida, the world may try to define you by age, by gender, by what you've lost. But we see you as whole, powerful, and wise. You are not at the end. You are just beginning, with more courage, more clarity, and more peace. Obrigada for walking this path with us. And remember, the peace you've been seeking is the woman you've always been becoming.